What is up everyone? So I've gotten a few comments on the channel lately asking me to play some mono ground, and who am I to not oblige? With that said, this type is insanely good this generation. I think the new additions like Great Tusk, Ting-Lu, to some extent Ursaluna were crazy good additions to the team, and so I'm pretty excited to play this team today. It did pretty good in testing. There are some things I might not be the happiest about, but maybe they'll kind of play out well today in the live. So with that out of the way, let's jump right into the team. So as I said a second ago, we have Great Tusk, which is a great new addition to the team. Quite honestly, I really like Donphan on the mono ground type anyway, and I think Great Tusk, I wouldn't say entirely outclasses it. It has a similar but distinct role all the same. However, I am going for a bulky support Great Tusk with max HP, max defense, and an impish nature. This thing gets pretty nice defense at 397 and very respectable HP at 434. With leftover recovery, this thing can be honestly quite difficult to kill on the physical side. This is further patched up by its ability to use bulk up, which increases its attack and defense a stage. Its attack, just 4 points there, is pretty nice because 299 attack, honestly uninvested, is pretty fantastic. That's more than some Pokemon have even with investment. So that's going to become even stronger with bulk up. And moveset wise, we have rapid spin, which is good team support to remove enemy entry hazards. Because this team does rely a lot on entry hazards, I obviously do not want to be defogging my hard work away. So rapid spin is really good in that regard. It also gives me a free +1 stage in speed, which is nice because this thing's speed is respectable. 210 with no investment is pretty good. Now, it's not the fastest thing in the world, but after a couple of rapid spins, you'd be surprised what it can outspeed. To further its team support ability, we have Knockoff, which is just good for knocking off opposing items. Now, unfortunately, I always say in the NatDex, I do think Knockoff is slightly worse because you have Megas and Z crystals and stuff, which can't be knocked off, thus nerfing Knockoff slightly. However, it's very good against EVO-like Pokemon, which can give my team a bit of trouble because this team doesn't like too many fat walls. It kind of wants to be... It's a bulky offensive team, so it kind of relies on my opponent team not being too defensive to take care of. So Knockoff is quite good for that. It's also very good against Ghost types, which could otherwise wall out the other two moves, Body Press and Rapid Spin. So Body Press is a fantastic move for Great Tusk. It's only 80 base, which on paper isn't amazing. However, it boosts off this thing's defense instead of its attack stat. So when I'm bulking up, I'm getting more defense, making this thing even more unkillable on the physical side. And it is powering up my stab Body Press, which is going to be very strong in certain matchups. Photosynthesis personally is not my favorite ability. If the Paradox forms had hidden abilities, I think it would be cool to see Great Tusk with something like Sturdy or even Rough Skin, because it has kind of a spiky looking horn thing here, or armor. Anything like even armor, the armor thing that prevents criticals, anything like that would be quite cool on Great Tusk. I'm just not personally a fan of Photosynthesis. It's good against Sun teams, but generally speaking the team doesn't struggle too much with Sun anyway, and we want to have our sand up as much as possible with this team anyway. So personally not my favorite ability, but it's the only one it has. I still think this Pokemon can be good. I'm kind of hit and miss on this in testing. I think sometimes it was amazing, sometimes it's kind of poor. Hopefully it shows well in today's video. You'll see this thing in the thumbnail if it did well anyway, so it's kind of a bit of a spoiler if this thing's going to be good. Next up we have Landorus, and Landorus is extremely powerful. While its stats look kind of mediocre-ish, 115 special attack and 101 speed are good, but nothing to write home about. And also this thing is higher attack than special attack, so some people might be confused as to why people run special attack Landorus. Well, that is because its hidden ability Sheer Force pairs excellently with certain moves it has, as well as Life Orb. So for those who don't know, Life Orb recoil is actually negated with Sheer Force, assuming you're using an attack that has a secondary effect that Sheer Force boosts. So that is a mouthful. What I mean by this is Earth Power and Psychic, they both have a 10% chance to lower special defense by 1. Instead, this Sheer Force boosts them by 1.3 times power and nullifies its secondary effect, so it can't do this effect at all. However, it is 1.3 times as strong. It is then again 1.3 times as strong again thanks to Life Orb, and the recoil is ignored because it's considered a secondary effect on this move. So Earth Power and Psychic are extremely powerful, boosted with Sheer Force and Life Orb, and this thing's okay special attack are boosted to crazy high levels. This pairs nicely with Calm Mind as well, increasing my special attack even more to make this thing a crazy strong wall breaker, and finally Gravity, just to remove any kind of immunities the enemy might have. Anything like Corviknight or Rotom that might be otherwise immune to my ground attacks, no need to worry, we spam Gravity and we can spam Earth Power again and again and again. It's also very good with Excadrill, as we'll see in a few minutes. And finally Psychic is mainly there for things like Wheezing, Galar, and Venusaur Mega are two kind of big threats to my team, so Poison obviously isn't the hardest matchup ever, but you'd be surprised how tough it can be with things like that can wall out my ground spam easily. Next up we have Hippowdon. It's a pretty classic Hippowdon you'll see in most of my ground videos. It is an eject button Sandstream Hippowdon, my personal favourite with max HP and max defense again. Kind of similar to Great Tusk, these things are both defensive juggernauts, however this thing is slightly different in the fact it is a pivoting option. So I swap into something namely Landorus, I get my gravity down, I then swap into Hippowdon, get my eject button and force myself into Excadrill, making this thing extremely powerful. So this sets up sand for me, which is quite nice. The sand is also going to chip away my opponent, quite good if they live on, for example, like a Focus Sash or Sturdy. We have Stealth Rock for a bit of offensive pressure. This team likes breaking sashes and sturdies with Stealth Rock. It's also good against flying traps, which is quite good because flying can give my team definitely a little bit of trouble. Next up we have Earthquake, just so this thing can attack in any way, shape or form. You can replace this with Toxic if you really want. Personally, I like Earthquake a bit more. I feel like Toxic has led me to be walled out in the end game quite a bit against certain matchups. Slack Off is there for longevity, which definitely puts this thing in a different league from Great Tusk to be a physical wall, because this thing can slack off again and again and again, which is quite nice. And finally we have Whirlwind as a phasing option just to force out opposing Pokemon we want to set up. Maybe it's like a Z Happy Hour, Z Celebrate, or Komodo Z Move for example. All those kind of things can be quite difficult for my team, so forcing them out with Whirlwind is quite nice. It also forces stacked entry hazard damage with Stealth Rocks and Gastrodon's newly acquired Spikes. So Spikes was such a fantastic addition to Gastrodon's moveset. This thing allows it to add offensive pressure even while just kind of being a fat wall in itself. So its stats, special defense wise, isn't amazing. 82 base is only okay. Base 111 HP is quite decent though, but this thing is surprisingly bulky, mainly because it has Recover and Storm Drain. So Storm Drain allows me to immune to water attacks, which is super important on the ground matchup. You can run Clodsire if you like. Personally, I kind of like Gastrodon a little bit more. Now Clodsire has the added additional bonus of being neutral to grass, which is good, as opposed to Gastrodon who's 4 times effective from grass, so there is that if you're really worried about grass as well, but I personally like Gastrodon a little bit more. We also have leftovers for longevity, and Skull is there, just a fantastic move, probably one of the best moves in the game. 30% chance to apply burn is fantastic because my team is already fairly physically defensive as it is. If my opponent is burned, they're going to take chip damage on top of entry hazard damage on top of sand chip, as well as reducing their attack by 0.5, which is fantastic to allow my bulky Pokemon to live even more. Finally, we have Recover Mirror Coat as well, which is good to bounce back certain special attacking moves. A lot of the time, people try to boost up in front of Gastrodon, trying to break it, or just throw special attacks until this thing eventually dies. But with Mirror Coat, you can bounce those back, doing double the damage. And because this thing has plenty of HP, it's going to be hitting quite hard if you get hit by a Mirror Coat. It's also nice for catching things like Psyshock users off guard, who might think, okay, I'm going to attack Gastrodon's weaker defense stats, so I'll click Psyshock, and they get blasted by a Mirror Coat back and KO'd, which is very good. Next up we have Excadrill. Excadrill is basically my main form of speed control on the team. It's kind of my only fast Pokemon outside of kind of Landorus. Like 331 is okay, not amazing. There's a lot of faster Pokemon in the tier, but thanks to Sand Rush, this thing will actually have 550 speed in Sand, which is very respectable and enough to outspeed the majority of Choice Scarf users. So our item wise, we're using Grandunium Z, which pairs nicely with Earthquake, so if there is any Pokemon in the tier that would live in Earthquake, or especially a +2 Earthquake thanks to Swords Dance, Tectonic Rage absolutely destroys them, assuming it's not like a 4 times resist. And if they are immune, we typically don't have to worry about that thanks to Gravity Landorus. So if you play Gravity into Excadrill well, this thing can score KO after KO after KO. So attack-wise, we are max attack adamant, just to boost the thing's attack stat even further, because we don't need the extra speed, I think, from a Jolly Nature, so I like adamant just to hit that bit harder. Iron Head is also a fantastic stab. It's very good for the Fairy matchup, which is pretty prevalent right now in the meta, so you do have to be careful about that. It also has a 30% chance to flinch, which is pretty good. It can be clutch in some situations because Excadrill is very fast. And finally, Rock Slide is there for bugs, usually grass Pokemon, so not grass flying Pokemon, which can kind of wall out my Earthquakes, especially when Gravity's gone. I do have to worry about the fact that I can no longer spam Earthquake against flying types, so Rock Slide is nice. It's also very good against Volcarona because with Sand Rush I will outspeed Volcarona, which is very key because it can be a tough Pokemon for my team. But speaking of Volcarona, we do have a fantastic counter, and that is Ting-Lu. Ting-Lu is probably, in my opinion, the best new addition to Mono Ground. It is insanely powerful. With a stat spread of max attack, adamant, and max speed def with Assault Vest, this thing is extremely specially bulky. thanks to its additional bulk with Vessel of Ruin, lowering my opponent's special attack stat by 0.75%, which is very, very good. That's essentially dropping it by a stage. Not quite as good as dropping it by a stage, but not far from it. Just by merely existing in the presence of my opponent. So this thing on paper, 259 special attack is good. This is further boosted by Assault Vest, and 451 HP uninvested is honestly crazy. And it's very strong with 350 base attack as well. Moveset wise, we have Heavy Slam. This thing can just sit on fairy types. Literally, a fairy type comes in, Boom Blast, probably does like 33%. Then Heavy Slam, 120 base, because this thing is super heavy, super effective, and absolutely obliterates most fairies. Cylinder for Stone Edge, this is mainly there for Volcarona, so even a +1 Bug Buzz Volcarona is not an issue for Ting-Lu. Assuming you can hit its Stone Edge, that Volcarona is going down in an absolute pinch. Earthquake is also there. It's a strong, reliable stab. Not entirely spammable. Typically speaking, we don't want to waste our gravity turns with Ting-Lu, but it's there as an option if we need to. And finally, we have Payback. Payback's kind of a weird one. It's only 50 base, but it does double to 100 base and stab if it attacks after the target. And Ting-Lu is very, very slow, so typically speaking, it will attack after the target, being quite a good Pokemon to revenge KO a lot of things. Now, the only downside to Ting-Lu is it has absolutely no form of recovery, so once it takes damage, that is clean damage, that is there for the rest of the game, and there's no real way to recover that on this team. So do bear that in mind, use your Ting-Lu sparingly. Hopefully in today's video, in the matches, you can see how to use Ting-Lu and why it's so good. So with that out of the way, I want to ask you, what is your favorite new additional ground type to Generation 9? I've sang its praises throughout the last 2 minutes. Mine is Ting-Lu. I think design-wise it is fantastic, having this weird stone golem deer thing with this big iron bowl. I don't know what it's actually based off. I think the Ruinous Quartet are all very, very cool, and Ting-Lu is probably my favorite of the 4. It helps as well, this thing is super viable and just generally super strong. So with that out of the way, let's jump into the video and get into some games. Alrighty, we have a game against Monobug, which, as I've said in a few different videos of mine recently, I think is definitely a contender for, maybe not like top tier threat, but it's a pretty high tier threat at the moment. We do have Excadrill, which is pretty good here, especially with Rock Slide. Now I do have to be somewhat careful of Hippowdon, of Scizor, because my Hippowdon is not necessarily a check due to it having an eject button. It can easily get some Swords Dances up for free. The open up Volcarona, I'm going to open up with my Ting-Lu and just kind of spam Stone Edge here. It of course gets a KO if it hits. If for some reason they're like Sash, for example, I could have easily gone into Hippo, got my eject pack out, killed it with Sand, and then potentially got an Excadrill for a lot of damage afterwards. So getting rid of Volcarona is a big threat. I think Scizor is probably the only thing else on the team that I consider a sizable threat. Like Pinsir is kind of annoying, so Scorch comes in. I honestly don't know what you do, and I'm going to Stone Edge you because it's 4 times effective. Power up, yeah, it's fine. That goes down as well. Ting-Lu is such a monster. It's such an amazing Pokemon and probably one of the best additions to ground I think I could have ever asked for. Now, part of me wants to save this potentially for Ribombee, just because Ribombee is pretty strong against my team. This is a great chance to get in my Exca. So we're going to get Hippo, forces it out with my Eject Pack. Surprisingly, they do not Mega Evolve, actually. Interesting. I wonder they not Mega. It could be Moxie in theory, I suppose. I kind of want an Earthquake, but I'm also kind of scared they're going to click that against all Iron Head here. It should KO Armaldo. This goes down easily. 2. That's fine. Kind of worried about Scizor. I do have my Tectonic Rage, which I am definitely going to click against this if it comes in, because otherwise close combat can be a bit of a threat. I actually don't think this KOs. Oh, it just straight up KOs. Fantastic for me. GG. They end up forfeiting. I mean, this person was lower on the ladder than I am. This ult is pretty high, so we didn't get many points there. That's not to say to diminish them as a player. They could have done pretty well. Bug can be a hard matchup for ground, but this team is definitely prepared for it. And I think the opening, taking Ting-Lu in against Volcarona, was a very, very strong position for me to be in turn 1. So with that, let's look for another game. So next up we have a game against Mono Ghost, and this is, it's in all honesty a pretty tough matchup. I really hate Corsola. it does a lot of work against my team. I'm going to try open up a Gastrodon because it's one of the few things that I don't particularly care if it gets knocked off. I don't particularly care if it gets burnt either from Sableye. Honestly, a burn against them would have been fantastic. We don't get it. This is actually really bad for me. I could Tectonic Rage actually. No, it's not too bad. I guess worst case, if I have to sack my Gastrodon, that's fine. The burn there is exactly what we wanted to see. Now, a part of me wants to go into Exca here. Is that like a crazy bad play? Potentially on the recover? You know what? No, I think I do. Gleam is fine, it does no kind of damage. They could potentially burn me here, but they have to choose between that and Wisping me, and Tectonic Rage absolutely melts whatever comes in. I think this gets 2-hit KO'd. Nope, it doesn't even come close to being 2-hit KO'd. That is very bad for me. I guess Lando's the play here. Strength Sap is going to do a decent chunk. I'll Calm Mind once. They probably get their rocks up here. Just for a bit of chip, that's not too bad because Earth Power will do decent chunk. 77 is nice. And honestly, nothing swaps into this. I don't know if I'd let my opponent give me Corsola. I said that in such like a weird roundabout way. I think Corsola they kind of needed for Exca because now the Exca Assault can go kind of crazy. That's it. I think Blacephalon still has speeds. What's Blacephalon speed? 344. What's that Scarf? 344. I'm too lazy to do the maths in my head. 516. I'm faster. That's fantastic. So I'm faster than that. I'm not faster than Scarf Spectrier. I don't think it's Scarf Spectrier. We're going to Earth Power here again. Actually, if it is, Ting-Lu eats it alive. Ting-Lu actually eats most of this team alive at the moment. Play rough there. Miss is pretty big for me. Kind of huge for me, actually. That was kind of annoying big threat taken care of. Blacephalon. I think I sack this. Let them kill me with Fire Blast. That's fine. Because Ting-Lu comes in here and just clicks Earthquake. I could pay back, but Earthquake does more against Sableye, yet that does no kind of damage. It's a pretty big threat taken care of. Now Sableye, I guess I could like aggressively Swords Dance in its face over and over and over again. Do I let you live? I think I regrettably Earthquake here. I say regrettably because I'm kind of afraid Spectrier might kill me. Actually, at 43 it doesn't, and they end up forfeiting. It just goes to show the power of Assault Vest Ting-Lu. This thing is so insane. We got 1609, which is, I think, pretty high. In NatDex at the moment, 1609. Yeah, it's decently high. It's like 26. Pretty good. Let's see if we can keep climbing. I actually got high on grass recently. I was considering doing another grass video, so if you want to see another grass video, let me know in the comments down below. I'm actually using the same team, but it really, really works nicely in the new home meta. So with that out of the way, let's pause and look for another game. Okay, we're here running back the mono bug. This one is looking, I'd argue, a little bit more scary just because Araquanid is like super good against my team. As they open up Araquanid, I kind of want to spikes, but they magic coat here. No, maybe I magic coat them. I'll try magic coat them first turn just in case they wanted to go for like webs or toxic there. That would have been quite nice. I'm going to regrettably try and Scald Burn you, though I probably shouldn't because Caesar is a big threat. He can also Trailblaze me. I don't see too many Caesars using Trailblaze, but it's not impossible to see. Please burn. Please burn. Please burn. Didn't burn. That's so bad for me. I just threw there. Did I just throw? That is so strong. What? I mean, Exca's Tectonic Rage kills here, I'm pretty sure. Now, they could easily go into Buzz. This kill. Please kill. Yeah, nice. That's kind of one of the big reasons I run Tectonic Rage, is for things like Caesar, which is a big threat to my team. Speaking of big threats, here's Buzzwole. We're going to scout what they have with Hippo in case they're Ice Punch. I don't want to go hard into Malando. Close combat. The crit is kind of unfortunate. I don't think it like crazy matters in the long run, to be honest. As long as I keep my Ting-Lu healthy, Volcarona is not too big of a threat. Now this is... Okay, I was going to say it's probably Choice Scarf, but it's actually Leftovers. Interesting. Ah, my Sand Boost actually let them live. That's so bad for me. Do I Earth Power here, I guess? Yeah, because it's good against Galv and Volcarona. Now, Araquanid is a big threat, especially with my Gastrodon dead. It's kind of like a giga threat. Ting-Lu, Galvantula, and sorry, Volcarona and Galvantula I always have Ting-Lu for. You're Ice Punch, right? You're like 10,000% Ice Punch. I'm kind of afraid I just lose to Buzzwole. Yeah, I knew it. We're going to spin here. If I can manage to get my rocks down this game, it's pretty good for me. Though I don't suspect I will be able to. Pretty good. They outspeed me still. Ting-Lu's the answer, always. I actually don't care if they get webs down. I mean, Hippo's slow anyway, so is Tusk. Yeah, I kind of want to... Yeah, I'm just Earthquake. I don't think I can afford for this thing to take too much damage. Do I just lose to Buzzwole, though? This thing definitely can't take too much damage. Losing Gastrodon against the Bug Bite was such a bad play on my end. I mean, I completely deserved to lose it. There was no reason I should have stayed in against Caesar with Gastrodon. I could pay back. They're going to kill me with Liquidation whenever they go into, so I guess I'll go Hippo here. Yeah, they Liquidate. We can go Exca. I can try and Rock Slide. Now, they probably go into Buzz. At least on that, I can kind of scout for what they go for. And maybe Lando can win the game. Yeah, they go into Buzz. As expected. It does like okay damage. I can maybe go for an Iron Head flinch here. Oh, that is so good for me. Wow. I feel like I still might just lose to Araquanid though. Actually, they're playing their Buzz like really good here. Yeah, they're playing really well. They're keeping their Buzz alive. Trying to +1 my Great Tusk, I think. Though at -1, they CC here. At -1, I'm pretty sure Tusk kills. I'm pretty sure Tusk kills at -1. So obviously CC comes out. I'd go into Tusk here. I kind of want to knock, but I kind of also want to spin. I'll spin. If they stay in... No, you know what? I just knock, because if I knock and they stay in and somehow spin doesn't kill, Lando outspeeds. That's really good for me. Obviously, Araquanid's a big threat. Don't burn, don't burn, don't burn, don't burn. No! That's huge. I can't say for certain... No, the burn maybe changes the game. Obviously, I've taken Ting-Lu here. They go Fire Blast. It does a lot because they crit. Nice Stone Edge, but don't miss. Oh, that really sucks. So that crit matter? Probably not. Maybe I should have gone for Earthquake. It was the safer play. But that's going to be game. I'm pretty sure Buzz just wins. Buzz into Araquanid Liquidation wins. For sure. Or does it? Do I go Tusk on this? Live the Ice Punch. Knock this off, and then I would speed with Lando. They CC. I spin, right? No, it's not coming enough to kill Araquanid. The only way I can win here is if they threw and stayed in. And they have no reason to ever do that. Even if I bulk up, I just die to Liquidation here. I'm not so sure I like this Tusk at all. Even with burn, knockoff it was like 30. I've been down a bit. Yeah, no, there's no way spin kills. Nah, the burn didn't matter. It's unfortunate, but it didn't matter. And then, yeah, Scarf Buzzwole just wins an Ice Punch. GG. We tried. An unfortunate loss there. I guess I could have played it better. Definitely sacking Gastrodon turn 1 was a huge misplay because it just completely opened up Araquanid in the later game. If I had like a layer or two of spikes down, every single time Buzzwole came in, it was taking a bit of chip, a bit of punishment. So I threw that game completely on, I think it was turn 2. From turn 2, that was a complete throw. I should not have stayed in to get bug bit. Trying to like gamba the burn rolls. Very bad play on my end. So let's look for another game. Alrighty, we have some mono normal. I actually recognize this team. I'm pretty sure this is like Costap Explosion Snorlax, which by the way is a completely sick set. That is so cool. I do have to worry about it though. I'm going to open up a Great Tusk here. I guess ultimately I'm okay with my Great Tusk getting slept. Or am I? Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'd rather Hippo get slept, because Hippo's kind of useless in this game. Yeah, that's fine. I go Tusk here. They try and get down their little webs. Now, obviously, I want to spin, but that's a super obvious play. I'm going to do it anyway. They go into Zoroark here to block it. I really wanted to knock off. It was a super obvious play, but I don't know. There's a weird part of me was like, no, I have to spin. Oh, Wisp is huge, actually. I can Quake here regardless. Doing chip on anything is pretty okay for me. The spin play was so bad. Like, it was so obvious. This could be a triple axle, actually. I'm going to go back into Tusk. It lives a CC easily. There's no kind of damage. I'm going to knock this time. As they go back into, actually, Smeargle. Interesting. That's fine, we'll spin. The Endeavor there hurts, but I get rid of their webs for the rest of the game, which opens up my Excadrill a decent bit. Now, obviously, I do have to worry about things like Ditto. Do you quick attack me here? Ah, I should have checked your HP. That's fine. This is fine. I think I use this as an opportunity to start laying my spikes down. I still have Hippo for the likes of Mega Lopunny. So ultimately it's not too bad. Every single layer of spikes here actually matters. Hippo, get a bit of Sand Chip. Oh, interesting, it's toxic. I want Stealth Rocks too, actually. I want Stealth Rocks kind of badly. You're a Giga threat to me, actually. Do I go Lando? Is that a throw? Right, Quick Attack kills me. Or not. I don't know why I was smoking saying Quick Attack kills me. It's not that strong. How much damage does Lopunny take? I should have been keeping track of this. I think that's Zoroark, because it was on 69, or sorry, 89 last time it came in. Ah, Spitef drop sucks. It's okay though, I'll get more layers of spikes down. Yeah. I swap out here, I guess I sack Lando? Because I can always recover in this thing's face. Yeah, Lando's fine. We go for a recover here. Every single layer of spikes I get down is fantastic for me. Lopunny's been taking huge punishment between that and sand and my eventual rocks. The only thing is I can't really take in my Excadrill like super obviously because it just screams, hey, copy me with Ditto and sweep me. Lopunny comes in, we go Hippo. You're taking Sand Chip, you're taking all kind of chip under the sun. I kind of want an Earthquake here, just kill. Just kill this if I wake up. Oh yeah, I'm eject button. How much does my own Excad do to me? Excadrill. Sand Rush. Is that adamant? That's not adamant. This needs to be adamant. Earthquake does 28 to 35. To 33, sorry. 0.5. That's not too bad. So I take this in. Oh, but that's assuming I wake up this turn. No, I don't. I go back into Hippo, right? I'm confused what this does. Cool. Self-destruct is actually kind of sick. You are Zoroark right now. Do I lose to Lopunny though? Because if I get my sand up, I have to assume, does Ting-Lu live? Earthquake, it does. Actually pretty convincingly. That's not that strong. And my Earthquake does not enough back. But that's because this thing has way more HP. This is burnt, so... Let me check burnt. This endgame become a lot harder. Status burnt. Earthquake does 66 to 78, but that's assuming with HP, with the spikes chip it takes, I think Ting-Lu just lives. So yeah, I go Gastro here. One more layer of Spike, and I think Exca into Ting-Lu is the game. But then does Lopunny win later? Ah, this is a hard end game actually. No, because the sand lets me outspeed. Yeah, I think I know my end game here. Get on there, Spike. I'm gonna Mirror Coat here. Just in case they want to Shadow Ball me. Just taking care of this is pretty nice. It was Zoroark all along. I definitely misplayed this game. I feel like I shouldn't win. Yeah, so now I just go Hippo. This dies to Sandchip. I force them to copy... Do I force them to copy Ting-Lu? How much does Earthquake do? 153 to 180. And if that's a Z move... It's 278 to 324. Which is enough, because I think Ditto only has 300 health. Yeah, they forfeited it. Nice. I guess, yeah, I let them copy my Ting-Lu. Because then we just kind of Earthquake each other for a few turns. Like, I do like 5, maybe to 20% damage with Earthquake. That puts it in range then of Tectonic Rage Excadrill. So the end game was definitely mine. We take those. And we are back with some more mono normal. This team also looking pretty threatening. Honestly, I hate fighting Cyclizard, and Porygon Z is a pretty big threat too. Thankfully, no Zoroark this time, so I don't have to think too carefully about thinking around that, but they also have a few options to get rid of my Spikes / Rocks, which I'm not a big fan of. I'm going to open up a Tusk here, as they open up with Lopunny. This is fine. I'm going to Body Press in case they stay in. Now, they really shouldn't. Maybe for a bit of Fake Out chip, that's fine. I'm going to Body Press again anyway. Actually, they don't really have a swap in. Like, Staraptor is kind of a swap in, but not really. It's still going to take a decent chunk, and I could potentially knock off its leftovers afterwards, which is very good for me. Again, I don't care about Ditto copying me too much with Excadrill, because I do always have Lando and potentially Ting-Lu as answers, though Ting-Lu is also my main answer to Porygon Z. I kind of want to knock here, but just in case they are like Triple Axle, I don't want to throw away my Tusk. Oh. You did not just give me this massive threat to my team. That is fantastic. If they go Pory Z, Ting-Lu is always my answer. Now, most of the time, they either go Z Ghost or Z Electric. Both of which, of course, Ting-Lu have a great answer to. If they're Z Ice, it's a little bit more difficult, though Sand Excadrill does outspeed and will one-hit KO with Iron Head, so all things considered, not the worst possible option. Speaking of, here it is. So Ting-Lu comes in, absolutely eats anything they send my way. Are you Electric? Ghost? Ghost. Cool. Payback it is. So Payback probably Oko's here. Like, Ice Beam is going to do, yeah, not much. 35-ish at most. Oh, wow. It lives. This is fine, because honestly, this is all Ting-Lu's really used for this game. They actually end up swapping out, which is interesting for me. I'm going to go Great Tusk. Because Great Tusk can always knock things here and try and spin. Now, Toxic there kind of sucks for me. But I suppose this giving me their boots is okay too. Actually, it does Body Press for like a massive chunk of damage on pretty much anything coming in. 33 is good. And I'm actually going to knock your Scarf. Because then I'm a bit more free to use Exca, because my Lando will outspeed afterwards when you don't have a Scarf on. Body Press comes out, that's fine. We knock here, get rid of their Scarf, and we're going to go in Hippo. Now, I guess in theory they could spin. Theoretically, they could spin here. They bulk up, that's kind of bad for me, actually. I'm going to Whirlwind you away. Just because I kind of don't want to deal with you right now. Take some Porygon Z. It unfortunately does not die to Sand, but again, I think Ting-Lu is always the answer here. Ting-Lu lives convincingly, and we kill thanks to Sand. They could kill me with Lopunny with close combat. That opens up my Excadrill a lot. No, I think the play here is to actually fake it out, not to close combat directly. If they close, yes, perfect. And the reason they should do that is to get rid of my Sand turns. If they close combat and killed me, I Excadrill, revenge KO. So, fair play to my opponent. They played very well there. Not to worry. I'm going to Earthquake anyway. Get in my Hippo and try and get in my rocks here. I just want to apply a little bit of defensive pressure. Again. Triple Axle sucks. Okay, we'll go Exca. And we're going to Iron Head, I think, just because I kind of don't like Staraptor. I could... No, I don't Swords Dance. It's a huge throw. I think Swords Dance is a huge throw, because if they close combat here, I would just lose. They go into Blissey. If they give me that, that's fine. I kind of want to Swords Dance. No, because then I just lose to Ditto, right? Kind of like crazy opens up Ditto. Are you CC? I feel like you're CC. Tusk is doing its job. Tusk is not doing its job. Tusk decides to live, and body press here is going to do a decent chunk. Against this, it kills Lopunny. It does a decent chunk against Ditto. I don't want to knock. I kind of wanted to knock that thing, but again, this comes in and eats 0 if I knock. So 32 there is massive. Mahusive. Yeah, this opens up my Excadrill like a ton in the end game. Okay. You win the speed tie and do nothing with it. I'm going to keep you alive. Because you are a very useful sack. Or no, I don't. Because I want to recover, I think, in Lopunny's fate. Or do I? No, I sack this thing to fake out. That I can get my Hippo and slack off here once. Triple Axle is very annoying, I'm not going to lie. Triple Axle sucks, it does so much damage. I guess I have to Earthquake. I think Gastro actually lives one pretty convincingly. I'll slack once. Scout what this does. Like, Brave Bird's not going to do a lot. Like, it's going to do a lot, but it's not going to 2-hit KO me. And that kind of opens up Exca here. Yeah, they end up forfeiting. So what I could do is go into Exca here on the Brave Bird. Revenge KO pretty much guaranteed with Iron Head. If Lopunny came back in later, I get in my Exca. Hippo down the line, take back in my Exca and Tectonic Rage and win the game. So I think as long as you keep these two healthy in the end game, you can do so much in this matchup. In every matchup. Exca, Hippo are like the core most important members in this team. Oh, that's let's look for another game. So I recognize this guy, he's number 1 on the ladder. So I'd imagine this team has some crazy powerful tricks up its sleeve, so definitely have to be careful around this one. In theory, this is obviously winnable matchup. In practice, I'm very scared of it. I'm like very, very scared. Open up Palmot. I kind of want to Earthquake you, but I kind of don't want to sack my Ting-Lu so early. I go Tusk. I guess Tusk is the most expendable member right now. Yeah, see, close combat would have done a ton of damage. I'm going to knock something. Just knocking something from their team is pretty good. If that's Boots, I'm happy with that. If it's Specs, okay, it's Z. You're just screaming, I'm Z to me. At least Regieleki isn't too much of a threat in this game. I want to Earthquake really badly. I'll Stone Edge. Pretty good. Let's Earthquake here in the Roost. If they choose to Roost here. If they choose to swap into something else, that's good for me too. Fantastic. And I gotta keep you alive. Maybe not. He's not that important. Like, Regieleki isn't going to do much to me. Tapu Koko can be kind of scary. And it doesn't do much to Rotom Wash. So I guess it's fine to sack this thing. Palmot comes in. I'm going to Earthquake here because I kind of expected an Ice Punch on the Great Tusk. But this lives, surprisingly. Sash is no worry because I get Hippo. It forces me out. It kills thanks to Sandchip. Now the question is, do I want my Exca in? And the answer is not really against Rotom, no. So... But I don't want to, like, give Iron Hands free setup either. So I guess I go Lando. Lando says, hey, Iron Hands, please don't come in. I don't want to deal with you. In fact, I could even Gravity right now. I just click Earthquake into Earthquake into Earthquake, right? What do you do? I'm going to Gravity. Hidden Power, Ice, whoa. And that's Specs as well. That is cool. That is very cool. I'm going to Scald here. It kind of was out Rotom well enough. Iron Hands I was scared about. Because this thing is a huge threat. No burn as well. Not good for me. I'll go Great Tusk. I wonder if they know. Do you know I'm not? Earthquake. Ah. This made the endgame so much harder. That Hidden Power Ice was crazy. You Choice Scarf, your leftovers. Okay. We'll always go Gastro here, I think. Coco comes in. I'm going to Mirror Coat you onto Grass Knot. Gastrodon's not that heavy, so it does live. Of course, Iron Hands is still like a giga threat here. And that's what I'm like majorly scared of. Regieleki, Explosions, I think. So we sack Ting-Lu. These two things are scary. I don't like dealing with them. I go in Gastro here in case they go into Rotom. They go into this. We can give him Hippo. If I get rocks, I at least put a bit of pressure on Rotom so I can't like constantly swap in over and over again, which I like. Am I faster than you? No, I'm slower. I live. Ha ha ha. That's so good for me. You know what? I kind of don't care that you can Hydro Pump me. I kind of want rocks up. Yeah, because I expected Iron Hands to come back out here. Wait, Earthquake once. Ice Punch isn't doing too much. Why did I have to say that? Ah, that freeze might just end the game for me. I Body Press. It does a decent chunk. We go Gastro. I guess this is winnable. No, I don't think there's much Rotom can do against me. They Hydro Pump. I want to get Spikes up. I honestly think I value Spikes a lot here, just again to apply as much pressure as possible in Iron Hands. I am slower than you. I guess I sack Hippo. Drain Punch. That freeze really sucks. I'm going to Tectonic Rage here. Because Rock Slide kills this. That obviously dies. Freeze was unfortunate, but I think, yeah, Great Tusk is pretty good here in the end game regardless. I just need to not lose to this. I don't think there's a way that Gastro can lose. Well, Rock Slide. GG. 31 points. I feel bad. That's such a hard matchup for Electric. Now, they played really well. 16-14. I think that's higher than I was when I started the video, which is good. It's good. 16-14. Do I end there? It's kind of cool to say, like, I beat the number one on the ladder, but it's also not that cool because, you know, it's also ground versus electric, so it kind of hardly counts, I feel, but still not an unwinnable matchup for them. Let's pause and be right back. Alright, this is what we love to see. A true test of how good Mono Ground can be. One of the toughest matchups in the game. Just because Rillaboom absolutely tears this team a new hole. Like, there's just no two ways about it. It's so crazy. I'm going to kind of hope they're scared of a Sludge Wave here. They're not. Oof. I mean, Earth Powering this isn't the worst, but I kind of gave away, like, my best answer to Venusaur just, like, immediately. And Rillaboom, to be honest. Ferrothorn comes in. This gets 2-hit KO'd. Pretty convincingly, actually. You know what? There's, like, nothing I can do in this game against Meowscarada. Hey, keep him coming, keep him coming, keep him coming. I want a Psychic here really badly. You're sacking big threats to me. This is looking somewhat winnable. Excadrill could potentially win this. I feel like Hippo lives one. There's a Flower Trick. Right? That is 55. Is that Scarf? I think that's Scarf. So if Hippo lives one, it means Great Tusk lives one. Honestly, I think Ting-Lu lives one. I'm pretty sure Ting-Lu lives one. I want to keep this thing healthy for Rillaboom. We're going to go ahead and pay back here. They go into Whimsicott. Fine. Moonblast is going to do like 2 damage to me. 23 is not bad. I guess. In this position where they're sacking so much good stuff against me, it's actually winnable. Heavy Slam does a ton. Stealth Rock is fine. No need to worry about that. I can always spin that away, worst case scenario. And actually, if I bulk up on my Great Tusk... Okay. Here's the Giga Threat. We're going to pay back. Their Swords Dance. I think that means I'll lose. Okay, they have 4 turns. Which means I have to sack 4 things, right? That's exactly what it means. And I can't sack something that beats Meowscarada, which I think is my Excadrill. What 4 things do I sack? Gastro, definitely. Gastro, 100%. Dead. It's Life Orb. That's really good for me, actually. So Gastro, then I think Ting-Lu. I think Ting-Lu's the next sack. Hippo. And Lando? Yeah, I think that's the 4. So Hippo... Wait, do I die to +2? I actually misplayed there, like, gigabad. I should have saved my Hippo till later. Lando's the next sack. Obviously that goes down. Ting-Lu's the next sack. This goes down. And then Exa comes in here and kills this. Right? We Earthquake here. That was like the worst sack in human history. I should have saved. I'm playing so bad this live. This live has been so bad. I'm going to Tectonic Rage here anyway because I do live a Flower Trick. I don't think it's enough to KO. Just lives. Sad. That was like the worst played game in human history. Flower Trick doesn't KO. Maybe like I just live one. Wow. I did not deserve that, like even remotely. I know they didn't play great, like sacking Venusaur early was kind of a big misplay. But yeah, no, I didn't deserve that. I should have saved my Hippowdon for slightly later. I shouldn't work like a full day at work and then come home and ladder Pokemon endlessly, because this is how bad I play. I misplay really badly. A lot of people think like, you know, oh, you're a really good player though, you know. Top 20 is not bad. Top 20 is pretty good. So you're a really good player, but just don't what I do when you're starting to misplay time and time again. I think this is a pretty poor showing for ground, but I mean we're still winning a lot of games, so I'm pretty happy with that overall. So this matchup can be pretty volatile. It's quite easy for Steel to win, for Ground to win, but it's also quite easy for Fairy to win, so I have to play this one kind of carefully. I really obviously do not like their Grimmsnarl, so what I'm going to do is try open up a Tusk and kind of just hit them a bit early on. Okay, where do you live? What are you that you live? Don't Mystical Fire me. Great, they Calm Mind. I kind of just want to Tectonic Rage you. Just in case. Okay, that's a Giga Threat taken care of. I mean, fair enough, hey? 3 points where are we? 1632. We're getting up there. We are getting up there. 1632, number 17. Nice. Let's try go for one more. I have seriously tempted fate here. Against Mono Ghost. This is such a hard matchup for me. Now, they don't have Mega Sableye, which is good. They do have a Spinner and Delmize though, which is not good. I guess Tusk isn't that important in this game. Like, I can spin with it. I can knock stuff off. And if they actually give me Delmize early in the game, it's kind of fantastic for me. Why did that do so little? That did so little. I'll bulk up once. Is bulk up to play or do I knock again? It should let me live. Oh my god. This thing's going to be scary. I don't like this thing. One bit. A Tectonic Rage is going to do like nothing. I guess Swords Dance Iron Head is pretty good. They knock me off. They can't, obviously. Swords Dance Tectonic Rage, I think, kills Corsola. They stay in. They go for a knock again with Iron Head here. Blacephalon's not a big deal. We have Ting-Lu. Exact same at Spectrier. We have Ting-Lu. Knock off, knock off, knock off. Yeah, that's Iron Head you. Okay, getting rid of their Spinner is big. Because now rocks go pretty hard in this game. Spectrier comes in. We always go Ting-Lu on this. And we just click payback. Of course, like, Corsola is pretty strong. Draining Kiss is so little. They probably go Corsola here. Yeah, they do. I guess that's fine. I can go Tusk and knock off. Like, knock off here is pretty nice. They can't Wisp. I get rid of their Eviolite. Eviolite? Eviolite? I would say Eviolite. Maybe I'm like over-exaggerating how it's pronounced. Obviously they strength up here. That's fine because now I go into Lando. They can strength up again, but Earth Power is about to do a lot of damage. And I think as long as I keep my Gastrodon healthy for Basculegion, this matchup is definitely winnable. I don't care about rocks that much. I think you're about to care about my rocks much more than I care about yours. They Wisp here, they miss. I'll Earth Power. I probably get Cursed Bodied here. Nope, no Cursed Body, fantastic. Basculegion comes in. You've honestly done your job, Lando. Because we can scout what they do. Phantom Force. Huh. Well, that gives me a free Hippo. And Hippo forces this out thanks to Phantom Force. Does a lot of damage. It's okay. We go in Exca here. We're going to click Earthquake. They can't go Bless This forces them to go Mimikyu. I don't think that was the play. I don't think letting me break your disguise was the play, personally. I go Tusk. I guess Tusk is kind of expendable. Actually, is there anything I can do to kill this? Lando probably kills. So we go Tusk here. They Shadow Sneak into Play Rough. Oh. Do I live one? I actually might live. Unless it's Let's Snuggle forever, in which case I think I die. But I think Tusk is actually bulky enough to live one here. I'm just calling play after play here. Lando kills, right? Like, Earth Power is like so strong. I know Mimikyu has like okay Spadef, but like not okay enough to live this. Nowhere near okay enough to live this. Especially after the Sand Chip's been taken. And then I think I get in... Okay, Basculegion comes in. We scout with Gastro. So if they Phantom Force here, they Aqua Jet. I get my spikes up and just start applying offensive pressure. I guess if you're like sub-Spectrier, it's kind of scary. We got 7 points for winning that. 7 points. I don't think that even bumps me up a single rank. That's the problem with being this high on the ladder. It's slow. Number 12. I'm so close. I need 12 more. Okay. Let's try. Let's try it. Another bug matchup. I'm getting seriously surprised just by the sheer quantity of bug matchups we're getting. Either way, this doesn't have Volcarona, which is good, which means I can open up my Ting-Lu against their Galvantula, which is a pretty nice advantage to me. However, Buzzwole, big threat. I'm very scared of Buzzwole. Sticky Web obviously comes out, that's fine. They don't really have an Earthquake swapping. I guess like Buzzwole's okay. I'm going to Stone Edge here just in case they go Goliath. No, I think they hit me here. I think they give me Galvantula. Yeah, Buzz does not too much. On Caesar, I think I go Great Tusk. On this, I go Gastro. I know the first impression, it does a lot. That's a lot. But what are the spikes here? This is scarier than I expected. Oh, they're their own spikes. Okay. I'm not okay with this. We're going to go Tusk. Start spinning these away. Jet does no kind of damage. Actually, if that's all you can do to me, Bulk Up is like an incredible play here. I think I spin a few times. Yeah, because Buzzwole's their best answer to this, and even at that, it's not a great answer. Because I'm going to knock off their Scarf here. They're not Scarf. They're leftovers. I should have checked. That's fine. I mean, Lando kills this. And I think I keep Tusk alive. Let's sack Gastro. Just in case they Ice Punch that turn. They sub, that's really bad for me. That's quite bad for me. Are they like Darkest Lariat Drain Punch? If they are, I feel like Lando lives one. Because Skull's going to break this sub. And they do have spikes down, so things like Caesar can't swap in. Okay, Leech Life. I'm pretty certain I live one as long as it's not. It's Focus Punch. That's really cool. You're gonna die, but really cool. I commend you for that. Cleaver comes in. Definitely Scarf. We go Tusk, easily lives, and we spin away their Stealth Rocks. Honestly, I feel like Tusk might win the game here. Bulk up, body press, body press, body press, body press. Yeah, that's doing way too much. Dueling Beat is strong though. But BP shouldn't kill here. Tusk is bulky. Obviously Cleaver could come in. Glycopod comes in. How much did Aqua Jet do to me? I feel like it wasn't that much. 21. And that's before a bulk up. So this doesn't KO. That did nothing. I'm going to knock off your Citrus Berry, force you out, force you to take spikes damage again later in the game. So I think XK wins. I mean, if not, Hippo is going to be able to easily live Glycopod. Scorch comes in. You're not heavy duty boots. Interesting. 8? Really? Really? Number 11? Really? That's so upsetting. I have to think about this one if I'm going to come back or not. I mean, I want to, but let me think about it. Okay, we're against Fairy again. Now, unfortunately, this Fairy team has Azumarill, which means it's going to be very scary for me. I kind of want to just open up Excadrill, to be honest, turn 1, and just start blasting. If they open up with Iron Valiant, though, it's very bad for me. They open up Grimmsnarl. I'm going to Iron Head you. Obviously, they get a Reflect up here. That, I guess, is fine. I'm just, like, majorly scared of Azumarill. Party Shot? Okay. Let's go Tusk here. Okay, so this is the Reflector. Citrus Berry? Are you like Calm Mind? You are Calm Mind. Not great for me. I can like fish here. But once they get rid of their Reflect, I can go into my Exca. I want a Mirror Coat here. No! That's a bad turn to Mirror Coat. Are you Mystical Fire? Let's try Mirror Coat here. Oh, the Side Shock's a great play. We take this in... What's stronger? That's 160. That's like 2 million base. This kills. Now the problem is like... It doesn't kill. Oh. Well, that's really bad for me. That is in fact very bad for me because I think I just lose to Azumarill now. Like Azumarill Belly Drum's up and there's nothing I can do about it. Especially if it's Z Belly Drum. I just have to accept my fate. I could bulk. Klefki comes in. I'll knock here again. Like I'm pretty sure I'm just sealing my fate against Azumarill. Maybe in a crazy world where like Body Press crits through Reflect after a Belly Drum. Maybe it KOs, but I'll take a huge maybe. And even then, I'm pretty sure Valiant... Is Valiant Specs on this team? Like, normally I think Valiant is banded on Fairy. I'm very surprised that Hatterene lived. That was kind of crazy. Okay, Valiant comes in. You're Specs, right? You have to be Specs. That's Fish with Hippo. Yeah. I feel like Ting-Lu does live, and honestly Ting-Lu doesn't have much of a purpose outside of that. And Heavy Slam's going to do a decent chunk here. That's pretty good. Can I live one? Good roll, good roll. No. That's the game. Unless there's some like crazy Azumarill that can't KO me. Grim comes in. You parting shot into, yeah, Valiant here. They're very smart to not let me take that. Huh? Is that a throw? I detect. Grim comes in. I body press here on parting shot. Okay. Is that a throw? Do I spin? Until I outspeed Valiant? Like in one more spin I outspeed Valiant, right? But body press doesn't KO. Foul play's doing nothing. So I think I spin one more time. Obviously they can parting shot here. They can also spirit break me. I don't know what else they can do. Are they toxic or something? Like, that's not doing too much. And I don't care if you lower my attack. Because body press uses defense. I just need enough to be able to KO Valiant behind Reflect. What's 3, 6, 4? If it's Scarfed. If it's Scarfed. It's 5, 4, 6. Which means I need one more Rapid Spin to outspeed. That did a lot, actually. Considering from that's Reflect, that did a lot. Body Press KOs this. I take 8. I am now faster than Valiant, and I'm pretty sure Body Press KOs. Yes. I think we did it. I think I hit top 10 with ground. Hey. 1674. 1674, number 9 on the ladder. I am not going higher than that. I'm pretty happy. I can snip this from my thumbnail. Let me get a little snippet of this from my thumbnail, and I am pretty happy with that. Hopefully you enjoyed. That was a very fun type to play. I didn't think it'd go on so long. I thought like, oh, I'm going to record for like 30 minutes today after work and maybe upload soon, but I've been at it for a good couple hour, like an hour or two now. And people often ask me, why do I pause between games? Will I not, just talk between the recordings? But sometimes the matchmaking can take like 4 or 5 minutes per thing, and I don't want to extend the videos any longer than they have to be. So it's funny. I think earlier in the game, earlier in this live, I was like misplaying so much, but then the more I got into it, I'm like, oh, I'm so close. I can definitely make this definitely a very enjoyable type. Ting-Lu, Ting-Lu, Hippo, and Exca, absolute core to the team. Honestly, I like Great Tusk more than I thought I did. I think I recall already in my team preview saying like, I'm not a big Great Tusk fan, but I want to try it for team support, and it was very, very important. So if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much. You are fantastic, as always. I much appreciate the support. I'll catch you next time, everyone. Take care, and have a great day.